We're going live. All right, we're live, everyone. Hello.
Live.
Alright, we're live.
Woo!
Yep, and I can hear your feedback from watching it. We talked about this, Bob.
Yep.
We talked about this.
Well, yeah. Usually YouTube starts muted, but like if I actually watch YouTube, it's unmuted, and I forget.
We could do a this
All
day
right.
in history and find out some cool this day in history facts about the amusement industry.
Well, I mean, it's March.
Good observation.
I mean, is there really a lot, a lot that happened on March 4th?
Yeah, Bob, there
You
is.
go right ahead. You find all that information.
Like, for example, January something, or like Milton Hershey's
Well,
birthday
then
was a
that wouldn't
while
be
back.
this day in history.
But like I'm not saying, I'm just leaving that as an example because I saw that and I was like, oh, we could talk about that on the show as like a this day in history kind of fact. I didn't end up doing it, but is it sad that we've been talking about Hershey so much that I just put Milton Hershey instead of Milton Hershey?
I've made that mistake even before talking about Hershey a lot.
All right. That's probably not the best idea because we'd have to do some extensive research beforehand.
We'd have to actually like think. I want to think.
We'd have to do research. There's a difference between thinking and doing research. That guy that wrote you, he might have done his research.
Oh
And the
my
guy that wrote
God.
us in the comments might have done his research, but he doesn't think. We could do a spotlight. Feature any specific topic or anything else that you want to talk about more in depth.
Let's do a spotlight on the kangaroo.
Oh my God.
I just had to say it.
But like, what's a ride that we both have ridden and like and can talk about for a show that we haven't talked about before? Like Volcano or Vortex or Firebird or something like that. Like, what's a ride that goes under the radar a lot? And don't say Verbolten, please, because we've talked about Verbolten a lot too.
Ravine Flyer 2.
That we've both
You've
ridden.
never read that.
Yay!
I know. That's the problem.
Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland? I'm just kidding.
I haven't read that.
I know. I'm kidding.
It's the whole problem. It's that both of us have ridden is the problem.
Not necessarily.
Blue
We've both
Street,
been to a lot of parks.
Cognac.
I'm just going to start listing rides you haven't ridden. Then Goliath, the Six Flags Over Georgia, Twisted Cyclone, Wicked Cyclone, Superman the Ride.
No, which Superman ride?
Superman Ride of Steel, excuse me, sorry.
Ride of Steel? That one?
At New England.
Oh, no.
I mean, guys in the chat, if you guys have anything that you would like us to talk about, please, that you think is
Jackrabbits. Possibility.
maybe.
Wait, dueling coaster? What did I miss something?
I don't know.
I knew Epic Universe was resuming, but I don't know anything about a dueling coaster. Chris, what's the details on this?
Oh, we need it. Did you put that in the rundown too?
What? Jackrabbit being 100
Universal
years old?
resuming
No, I was
construction.
just thinking that too.
We need
We
to.
need to.
I guess we'll talk about that when we talk about evaluating the future. Because doesn't mean there's been no like news article. It was just them saying it on a tweet.
Oh, is that all?
What?
Oh, there's concept art. Wait, what? Okay, I feel like I'm missing out here.
Oh, the concept art of Epic Universe. I saw that. I didn't know we were talking about that. Yeah, that. I mean, it looks like a premiere ride to me. Something along the lines of.
Orlando Sentinel did a article on it yesterday.
And I bet there's just probably like more speculation than actual like. There's not much really to the story, is what I'm saying. Oh, they did.
Nope,
They,
they actually have
they did a
clips
blog.
on
They did a
pass.
blog thing about it. Universal themselves did a blog post, so I'll link that. That's probably more factual than just like their opinion on it. But yeah, it looks like a Premier Rides. It looks like West Coast Racers to me, and the concept, as far as the concept art is concerned. That's
No, there's actually quotes from other stuff than just the blog.
from the Orlando Centennial.
Sentinel, yeah. I want to ride a cold racer.
Do you want to talk about Fury? That's what Pam said. We could talk about the Giga coasters. Actually, I think we've done an episode like that before. Where we talked about all the Giga coasters.
I think Indiana Beach should do a racing coaster and call it No Coast Racers.
But dump bump. Do you want to use the Orlando Sentinels piece then?
Yeah, I think that probably makes more sense. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Uh, I'm deleting the Orlando piece, so you just put that there.
Uh, there's no little dash thing. Wait, where's my cursor? Oh, there we go. That's not how you spell resumes.
Resume zay.
Yeah, I don't. That surf coaster is intriguing.
Fuck. Why did you?
I have no idea what it is. What did I what?
Why is there like
I
a
didn't do it.
indent here?
I don't know. What did you do now? Sometimes it's entertaining watching you edit this document.
I know what I'm
Google
doing.
Docs tries to do its own thing.
There we go. My computer's being kind of slow right now. That's also why I'm having a tough time with it right now. I'm telling you just how I feel. So wake up the members of my nation. That's a little iCarly there for you guys. I know it's an epic show. I hope Icebreaker opens. Why would they not announce that though? I mean, I guess logically, if you think about it, opening it a little bit before spring break and then having it open for spring break makes sense. And maybe not even announcing it, it's just open, so that's kind of like a big deal. The media will kind of play with that. But also, they normally have media days for these things or new rides like that. I don't know.
Does SeaWorld normally have media days? I mean, I guess they would, but I don't know. I've never actually
They typically do.
heard of.
Yeah. But Pam, Velocicoaster was testing with people on it too, like a month ago. So are they soft opening it or are they opening it? Because if they open it for pass holders like that for at a nighttime event, that's kind of a soft open just to test it out with pass holders. Parks do that a lot, like a week or so before they actually announce openings and stuff sometimes.
Is there a source for that pass holder event? Do you have a link for it?
Ah,
Because if so, I'd like to.
we need to think about what we need to talk about too. Oh man.
Let's see. Now, March 9th is a pass member ERT event. Yeah, that's not. I mean, it's possible they could coincide with it, but Attractions Magazine's reporting that SeaWorld Orlando is hosting a pass member VIP ride night on March 9th. But that's.
He said no. He heard it word of mouth from an employee.
Yeah, I know. I see that. Yeah, but I mean, we can't really.
Confirm nor deny if that's true. Yeah. So it's
Right. Exactly.
That's the same thing was said like a couple weeks ago about Velocicoaster opening up. I remember people were like, "Oh, it's opening for this. It's opening this weekend," and I think somebody said an employee told them or something. So I don't know. Sometimes employees that say stuff like that aren't necessarily telling the truth. It seems, or people are just.
I mean, it's possible they open it.
No. Yeah, I'm not saying
For
it's
that.
not possible.
Yeah,
I'm saying that.
it's hard to say.
But think
Dippin'
about it.
Dots
Think
guy.
about it. Like for example, I will start working at King's Dominion soon. I'm gonna know nothing though. I could say I know stuff, but I will know nothing. But like they don't tell our level, like low level employees anything. That's like
Yeah.
they keep that kind of information up very top. So unless you know like somebody really up high and top, and there's really no way that they would know that unless I guess maybe they're working it. But even then, I feel like that might be something that just kind of, hey, let's go make fun of James. Hey, I'll be a good sport. I'll staple you guys after that.
Go throw up on his ride.
And then I'm going to be like, well, we're enforcing a new policy now, and it's called the self-cleaning policy, and that means you have to clean up the throw up. So have fun. I heard they opened the restaurant in front of the ride. Yeah. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with your assertion. I don't think there's any, other than, again, I'm sure the people that you told you trust, and that's fine and fair. But I'm just saying that there's no real solid evidence that points to it happening. Even if those guys are telling the truth and they've heard that, there's no solid backing if that's true or not. That's all I'm saying. There definitely is some things that are coinciding that show that it's likely. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, I know Gavin Hatfield, yep. He actually won one of the photo contests on the show a while back. Or the only photo contest that we've done.
What the heck?
All right, should we talk about what we're going to talk about in the second half of the show?
I don't know.
Do you want to talk about a coaster like that, maybe? Like Fury or something? Maybe something better than Fury, but something we've both ridden.
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
We both enjoy.
And talk about Jackrabbit.
We've
It's the
talked
100th birthday. So.
We've talked about Kennywood considerable amount in their rides, I feel like, so maybe that might be, I don't know. If that's fine, I don't care. Do you guys think we've talked about Kennywood? I mean, we have the audience here. Do you guys think we've talked about Kennywood too much before, or do you think that's an okay ride to talk about? Because we definitely have brought up those coasters a lot before. But I'm all right with talking about it again if it's... It's off. All right, we got one vote for no. Pam.
I don't know. How much is there to say about it? Means we're gonna have to actually read stuff. I don't like reading stuff.
What?
So that means we have to actually read stuff. Oh.
Meaning what?
I have stuff to talk about Jackrabbit.
I can do it. I'll take one for the team. I'll just go through. There's literally a Wikipedia page about it. I'll just read the history of it.
Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow.
Oh, Bob. All right,
hey, I like that show as a kid.
It was all right, yeah. You know, it was better though.
Baking a pretty cake.
I'm done talking to you.
That was such a great series of events. Still there, James?
I'm here. Oh, sadly. This is killing me. The Orlando Centennial is telling me I mean Sentinel. I don't know why I keep saying Centennial.
Centennial? We're-
It's like a military. Yeah, the Orlando Centennial. They're watching it. They're like trying to fight me. No, the Sentinel is.
You said it again. Centennial.
I know. I was kidding. I was being sarcastic there.
Okay. It's still funny.
The Orlando Sentinel is telling me that I've reached my free article limit, and I've literally never been on their website before. I've reached my free article limit of 0.1 second of free article. Are you getting that too?
No.
I guess you get more free articles than I do.
I guess I do. You know why? It's because I cook by the book.
It's because you call them by the right name.
yes, that's exactly why.
Oh man!
Why did my
Oh my
microphone
god! He's like
change?
spamming me with all these things. Bob, this sucks. We can't use the.
Oh, I might get loud.
We can't use the Sentinel article.
Why?
I'm getting like all these pop-up ads like you can't see this article. You've reached your limit. Then it's like, oh,
I don't know. Half the stuff you send me, I get that. That's half the internet. That's fine. If you want to use the blog, we could do that.
all right, wait. Now I just reloaded the
Or
page and
put
it
'em
seems like
both.
it might be working. I don't understand how I can reload it and get more free articles time now, but
All right. Do I sound better now? I don't understand.
I don't
what
know
just-
what that means because you didn't really sound bad before.
Real? Oh. Somehow my audio
Nope.
switched to my webcam rather than my.
Can you send me like a
Microphone.
screenshot of this article or something? Because I can't access it. It's still doing the free article thing.
Yeah, here we go. It'll be a couple screenshots. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. Varburton was my hero as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. But call Mesola or whatever that phone number is. Is that what you're telling us to do, Pierce? Where I lost all
If
the
you or a loved one
buttons.
has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, you could be entitled to financial compensation. Let me try to.
I've been tagged.
Let me try to access this article on my phone. Let me see if that works.
I don't know if my Twitter client shows me being tagged.
SMH. Did you like my comment about the Comcast situation?
The what?
I said Comcast can get Bob. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Comcast can build a multi-billion-dollar park, but they can't.
Oh, there it is.
I found the candy. It's such a pretty sight.
You're muted, by the way. As soon as I heard it, I muted it. Yep, I'm not unmuting you, so just I know it's still going. Have fun listening to it, though. I didn't hang up too. I'm not looking. Imagine somebody for the first time clicks on our live stream and it's like, I'm going to try these guys. And they just see Bob holding up some random weird child cartoon. Playing an awful song.
Next.
Oh, all right. You've been unmuted.
I have.
Yes. As soon as I heard the first note of that song, I was like, all right, here we go.
It's a piece of cake to break, pretty cake.
All right, let's just do that. All right, are you ready to record?
Maybe.
I'm going to test my audio. Hi, I'm James Barber, and it's the week of March 7th, 2021. This is the official test of the Coaster Talk podcast, episode 111. Your source for everything stupid kid shows, and we'll be right back after this break.
This is the official test. This isn't a fake test, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Gotcha.
This is your official emergency broadcasting system.
All right. I'm going to test my audio. It's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake. If the way is hazy, you got to do the cooking by the book. You can't be lazy.
I can mute
Never
you still,
use a
Bob.
messy
I still have
recipe.
the power.
The cake will end up crazy if you do the cooking by the book. You love it, James. You know it. You know it.
I know that the reason that you do it so much is because it annoys me.
That's a very big part of it.
I should probably just start singing along with you, and maybe you'll stop.
Then we'll just all have a party.
Oh God.
There's no way out, James. Just face it.
As of March 7th, 2021, this podcast has now been dissolved. Thank you for the years of listening. And
trying to rickroll me.
Who's trying to rickroll you?
Pierce.
I have the best rickroll of all time on my phone. It's so high quality.
The best rickroll.
No, I'm not kidding.
Did you guys see SeaWorld's reply to Silver Dollar City today?
Where was where was you? Where were you tagged at that he's trying to rickroll you?
Oh, it was just a. Here, I'll reply, and you can see my reply on my feed.
I need to Rickroll this.
So, SeaWorld Silver Dollar City, they said like type your name in and post the third animated GIF that you get. SeaWorld replied with a shark. It was just perfect.
Where's my Rickroll at? It might be too high quality for. Oh, here it is. Look how high definition this video is. It's actually insane. I don't know how they did it. I guess they went back and just. I don't know what they did, but it's amazing. They just must have like remastered it or something. It's pretty crazy.
No, they it's the whole film thing. Old stuff is actually in higher def than some new stuff because film was actually a higher resolution.
This isn't even like Twitter ruined the quality of it still. Like you can't see in that how good high quality it is. I'm sending it to you the actual chat then. Let's see if it'll work here.
I've seen it.
No, you haven't. There we go. It's so crazy how high def it is. It's so crazy. It's so like.
I need to get the slopes. It's 10 o'clock. We haven't started.
I agree. I guess what you just said is not an opinion, but I agree nonetheless.
Can we just like play Rick Astley for the second half and get on with it?
That would be pretty good. If this was April Fool's, I would totally do that. We'll be right back after the second half of the show. And then it's like, da na 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 na, and then it's just like, dun 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 dun. You just got rickrolled. Happy April Fool's Day.
If it wasn't for the whole copyright strike thing, I'd say let's do it.
And then we'll watch as we actually do have to dissolve the podcast because we've been sued.
Wait. Yes.
All right, are you ready?
Hold on. Oh, did I get louder? Am I too loud? I don't know what's going on. I can't see the code.
Oh.
I think I'm good.
All right, here
possibly. That was my audio louder for last week. I forgot to ask that.
Your audio is the same, in my opinion. I mean, which is good. It was at a good place before. So.
Okay.
I don't know if it was louder or not in your car or not, like you said you might test, but.
Yeah, I forgot to. Well, actually.
Are you gonna run to your car?
I don't see anything on my Twitter yet. Wait, yeah, I'm running to my car real quick to listen to last week's episode. I'll be back in a couple hours.
You say, well, actually,
there's a train coming, so we're gonna wait for that. I don't have anything in my Twitter. My refresh probably is expired. I gotta wait. Oh, wait, maybe I still have it open in the... Yeah, I don't see anything new. Aquanoid. Oh, there it is. Wait, maybe not.
I'm telling you, SpongeBob has the best memes ever. Did you see the new Drunk Rider just tweeted out? Somebody posted to Coaster Jerk with the Phoenix's finale. It's perfect. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Batten down the hatches,
That was-
Mr. Squidward. SpongeBob is the best. They literally have so many memes that apply to so much. It's amazing. I could literally just go through SpongeBob memes and then just make roller coaster memes based on them all day, pretty much. All right, are you ready?
Wait. Twitter's out of control. I don't know what's going on. Never gonna give you up. What is this? Oh, there it is. Now you really did rickroll me. Nice. You got me on that one, Pierce.
What happened now?
He he rickrolled me. It's just a picture of a speaker, but I didn't know what it was at first, so I had to click play, and then all of a sudden I heard it.
He got you twice too, because he tagged you twice.
Yeah, I see that now. Oh, all right. God, I love this shark.
I had a really good one. I photoshopped once. I was gonna post it, but then I was like, I'm on the Coaster Talk account. I don't know if I want to do that. Now that I have my personal thing, I might continue that. Then I was gonna reply to one of their tweets about their River Rapids ride. Where did SeaWorld reply? Oh. I see it now.
It's seriously, I like it. It really is one of the best replies I've ever seen. All right, we should probably do a podcast or something.
I think we should.
All right. I need to close some tabs here, and then what are we? Oh yeah, did you load up all the facts and stuff for Jackrabbit? Are you good on that?
I'm just gonna read out. Yeah. There's a site that I got.
It's Coaster Talk JB. I guess I can actually type that.
What? What's Coaster Talk JB? My Twitter?
No, mine.
I wanted it to be Coaster Talk James, but it wouldn't fit, so.
Could you be Coaster Dog Jam?
I thought about that actually. I'm not kidding. I actually thought about that. My name thing for SeaWorld is pretty good though. Did you ever see Mall Cop? Paul Blart Mall Cop?
Yeah.
Did you see the second one where?
No, I don't think so.
Me at SeaWorld is me at Silver Dollar City is me getting kicked in the face by it. Because it's Kevin James, I guess, when I typed in James. So it's me getting kicked by a horse, like, and I'm like getting flown across the. It's pretty funny.
That's not what I'm. I can't. I don't want to say it on here. Marcus, are you still in our chat? Oh my god.
I agree, Cam. It's pretty awesome. I can't believe that's what.
Right. Oh man. I can't breathe. I'm gonna like pass out from like hypoxia.
I hope I still have this because I probably don't. I probably deleted it like a dumbass.
What's that?
Even better penny packer joke that we did a while ago. Oh, I deleted it. No way. Why would I delete that? That was such a great. That was the best. I can't believe I got rid of that. I can't definitely say that on the show. It's way worse than Penny Pickle. The thing that we said was awful. I can't even find it now though.
I love that I did not want to publicly shame him.
I don't care.
So
I do.
So I messaged to James what it was, and he proceeds to say it on the air.
And it's literally nothing.
It was funny though.
Yeah, it's funny, but I don't think it's really that bad.
No, I just don't want to offend other people.
Other people are getting offended by.
No, oh my god, this. Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about, but I'm not gonna divulge into that right now. I cannot believe I deleted this. Someone has to have it. I'm gonna ask Alex.
Well.
Oh man, I cannot believe I got rid of that. I'm really disappointed in myself.
What in the fuck are we doing?
Wait, whoa. There we go.
What the heck? What the heck? What?
No, you can't be lazy. Let's take the land of crazy. If you do the cooking by the book, When you have
Bob,
That's the better version.
Are you gonna really do that?
What?
The guy just dropped the F-bomb and I got in trouble for saying penny pickle.
I didn't mean.
Straight F-bomb.
I didn't know. I
Thank you,
didn't
thank
know
you,
the
thank
video.
you. My ears.
I didn't know the video started with that.
Oh my gosh. I can't even believe I just heard that. Apologies to any family-friendly listeners of the show that we're trying to.
Oh yeah, this coming from the guy that last week said it 3 times right in a row. Bam, bam, bam.
No, I'm not. It was sarcasm, but
I know. So then, I did not know.
I cannot believe I deleted this image. That image was actual golden. I'm gonna describe it. I'm not gonna say what it said, but no, I'm not actually gonna even get there. All right, let's start the show. But I think it's pretty obvious that we have. We refute Jason Pennypacker as a kosher enthusiast and as a human being almost.
Yeah, I just don't like to. Well,
we don't like to hate on anything except SeaWorld and those guys. Other than that, we don't hate on anybody. Sometimes Cedar Fair, sometimes just corporate America, sometimes idiot Redditors online, but other than that.
I don't think I've ever called any person out by name before.
No, you haven't.
I mean, other than the big incidents where, stuff had to be said.
I don't think anybody that enjoys New Jersey Coasters is listening to this live stream, so I don't think we have any.
You're probably right.
Cause of concern. I'm not even sure what he is.
All right.
Like, he does a YouTube channel for like coasters, and then he says he's a media affiliate and does production for parks. So I'm like, are you a YouTube channel? Are you a producer of content for parks? Like, what is? It's kind of a blurry line there. I'm not so sure what he's doing. I haven't looked at him, but I know when I last was talking with him, that's what he was doing.
Wait, so he says he does productions for parks?
Yeah, he'll go to parks. I think some parks have signed him before. But the thing is, I can't remember what. So one park literally told them that he wasn't welcome there anymore because of something he said online. Like, they were like, we're no longer partnering with you for you to do media at our park because of something he said online. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, go to his website. Go to newjersey.coasters. Is it .org or .net maybe? I think it's .net. And he does like production. That's what his like main objective is. And then he also does the YouTube channel too. But I'm confused where the line is drawn. If he's an influencer and a speculative personnel on coasters, or if he's actually like a media person. I don't know what he's trying to do. It's kind of weird. He's trying to do both, kind of.
Jenkinson's Boardwalk, Lake Compounds, Castaway Cove, Quasi. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know, it seems like you have to be like a not like I don't know. It seems like the less upstanding you are, the more a park will work with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're far from it then.
but like look at like how many times like theme park review has like had like he does
reach out to
he
him,
does
yeah.
stuff with parks all the time. Is like Oh, really? Have you seen some of the things this guy has said?
I don't get it. He uses WordPress like us though. That's because when I log in, if I'm on a WordPress site, it shows me like that it's a WordPress site because I'm logged in as a creator. All right, are you ready?
What is this coaster that looks like Merlin's Mayhem, but I'm not sure it is. Maybe it is.
I think it is.
Maybe it is. I mean, I guess that would make sense if he works with Lake Compounds. I guess Dutch Wonderland could. What if they don't actually work for him and he made it up? Oh wait,
Do you know
he had
how
a
unshocked
podcast.
I would be?
Did you know he had a podcast?
Bob, guess who's been on his podcast?
You.
Yep.
Oh my
Very
God,
fir-
there it is. Episode 1, Coaster Crusader and Coaster Talk podcast. Thank God that was before my time.
That was well, and the thing is, you know the great thing about
There's
this, Bob,
only 2 episodes.
but I know he hasn't done it in a while. I'm still in his chat for it in the Discord, but I don't talk and I don't affiliate with him really at all. I don't know why I'm still in the chat, to be honest. I can see it right now, but I was like, I just realized I'm still in it actually. But guess what he did? You know how we used to do attraction news, coaster craze, all that stuff?
Yeah.
I swear to
copied it
God,
all.
if you listen
I
to that
think you told me
episode, he does attraction talk, coaster madness, something like he does like the same like segments that I did.
He didn't even change the names. That's awesome.
And then and you know what he tried to do then? He said, "Oh, well, you copy Coaster Radio." And I'm like, "I'm just doing a podcast. That doesn't mean I'm copying them. You literally stole my names for my show." He like tried to like, "Oh, everyone copies each other. You copy other podcasts." I'm like, having a podcast is in essence copying somebody. But he admitted he admitted that he stole my names though, and he finally changed them. But I swear to God, I was sitting there and I was listening to him starting to talk about what, because he didn't give me a rundown or anything. He was like, "All right, we're gonna do our first segment now, attraction talk," and I'm like, "Is that a joke? Is he like joking around with me?" Ha ha ha, James. I was just pulling a coaster talk a little bit.
It's 10:30. We haven't started. We need we need Kevin who doesn't exist from the Drunk Riders.
All right, are you ready?
What the?
What?
What is share with your followers? What? I've never seen that in Discord. All right, yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let me. All right, here we go.
Three, two.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coaster Talk Podcast. Another week, another episode of your source for everything roller coasters. It is episode 111. It's March 7th, 2021. I'm your host, James Barber.
And I'm Bob Mertz.
And welcome back, guys. There's been a lot of talk, Bob, going around because of this video released by Six Flags America to the Ace Mid-Atlantic region of an RMC roar. And I know that's not something you want. How do you feel about that
I'm gonna
talk?
cry in a corner.
Yeah.
I don't want. I don't want at all. No. Roar is such a good coaster. And I don't know. I don't understand why there's people that hate it. I think, I'm not going to classify it. I'm not going to throw everybody in this category, but I think it's kind of the same as like the whole park in general. There's a lot of people that haven't experienced it or experienced it recently that bring judgment upon it. And most of that judgment comes from the echo chamber.
Uh-huh.
And I think the echo chamber is really starting to do some damage. We're losing wooden coasters. And it bugs me that people don't actually see this, but wooden coasters are disappearing and they're not being replaced.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, here and there there's a new wooden coaster that pops up, but they're disappearing. There's not many left. And it's, there's certain regions in the US, like if, you feel like, oh, wait, no, there's a lot of wooden coasters, but there's not.
Yeah.
Aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you happen to be one of the lucky ones like we are, where we can access a lot of wooden coasters pretty easily, that's not normal. And Roar is actually really good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a lot of fun, and I still say it is tied for my number one in that park.
I might need to restart because I don't know what's going on with my mic right now.
Sweet.
It just got really, really loud and then really, really quiet again, and I don't know why. I was trying to fix it before I started talking again, but I'm going to start talking and I'm going to be like really loud, and then everyone's going to be like, what the heck just happened? So I would just say, let's just restart. That was good. Let me test again. Testing for the show, episode 111, so we can get on the road. All right. That looks okay, I think. Test. I'm really mad now. Bob's made me mad. Bob, why'd you make me mad? Bob, why'd you make me mad?
I hate you, James. Because I hate you.
You're making me mad by saying you hate me. Hi. Ha, ho, 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 ho. Ho! Hi. I don't know.
Hi-ho.
Hi-ho. It's off to work we go.
Work we go.
Hi-ho. Hi-ho. Why is my mic so loud?
Hi-ho. Huh?
It's like really loud. I have it like turned down the gain like all the way, and it's still really loud.
Your mic sucks.
Incorrect.
I can actually say that right now.
Hello. I'm James Barber, and this is Bob Mertz, and you're listening to Coaster Talk Podcast. No, you're not, because this is not this is a test that's going to be deleted in like 10 seconds, so you're not listening to this actually.
You hear that, guys? You didn't hear any of that.
You didn't see anything.
Nothing to see.
Hello, I'm testing the audio. Hello. Why is this? It's like really quiet and then really loud. I can't find a sweet spot right now. Hello. This sucks. Testing. Hi, I'm James Barber, and I'm sitting here with Bob. And it's still really quiet.
I mean, sitting here with Bob or in the next state.
I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round.
Sitting on the dock of the bay.
Watching them run.
I always think of root beer when I hear that song.
Why? Hi, I'm James. And root beer is a terrible drink.
Oh, what?
I don't like root beer.
That commercial or that song was used in
Hi. I got you. That song was used in a commercial. I'm just repeating.
I don't know what's happening tonight.
All right, you ready? Morons arguing with you on Reddit. I'm repeating everything you say.
I don't understand. No morning sun.
Don't play it, it'll copyright.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna get copyrighted for that
Some-
song. You suck. I guarantee you.
Oh.
When we end this live stream, it's gonna say "Bake a Pretty Cake." Maybe I think I muted you for most of it, so hopefully it doesn't get it. But
That's not copyright. Well, they don't enforce that.
you sure, Bob?
I don't think that song's ASCAP or anything.
We'll see.
The way that copyright strike works is they have a database of like ASCAP songs, and like they do heuristics to match to that.
We shall see. All right, are you ready?
Is your mic gonna mess up again?
I don't know, but that's part of the fun. Let's see.
I don't know. All I know is you have this your video's frozen with this huge shit-eating grin on your face.
Okay, send me a screenshot of it.
Wait, oh, you went away.
What?
I missed it. You went away before I got the screenshot.
No. Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back now.
Oh, dang it! I wanted to see what I look like.
I didn't get it, so
All right, are you ready?
yep. 3, 2.
It's that time of week again. Another episode of Kosher Talk Podcast is underway. Episode number 111. It's March 7th, 2021, and I'm James Barber.
And I'm Bob Mertz.
And we're your hosts for this week's show, of course, as always. Welcome back, guys. All right, so, Bob, there's been some talk going around because of this new...
I don't like talk.
Yeah,
I don't like
of
talk.
this new Six Flags America video released by Ace Mid-Atlantic with the park president inferring that talks have been underway or they've been considering a possible RMC treatment of Roar. And I know that's not making you a happy camper.
No, I'm over RMC. It's the net result of RMC. I don't know if it's good or bad. And what's worse is I think the thing that everybody likes about RMC isn't it really has nothing to do with RMC. It's all just Alan Schilke's designs that people love. But yeah, Roar should not be RMC'd. It just makes me angry. So I'm so angry I can't talk.
I don't necessarily... Okay, so my point on this ride is, before you give your full in-depth analysis, my thoughts on this is, for me, Roar is not an excellent ride. It's a good coaster. I like it a lot. It's fine, you know. I don't know why I just said a lot. I like it. It's a fun ride when I go to Six Flags America, and you know, it's not mind-blowing for me. It's not crazy. It's not excellent. It's not one of the best rides there or anything like that. It's just, I think we've brought this up on the show a few weeks back, maybe, when we talked about Cheetah. What is it? There's 125 or something of that nature wooden coasters left in the U.S. Or not, I think in the continental
Yeah, it's not
North
much.
America, I think. So you just have to put that into perspective when you're talking about RMCing all these wooden coasters, guys. Wooden coasters are important. They're an important piece of the industry, and we can't just blow through them and just, I don't really like this one because of this, so let's just RMC it. You know, there are certain coasters and certain RMCs that have gone underway that they were necessary, either because the park was going to just get rid of them anyway, or there was actual issues with the ride before. But we're starting to get to coasters now like Roar that are perfectly okay and fine rides, and Bob will probably bring up, are maintained pretty well, and don't need that treatment. So at this point, it's just like, all right, let's just RMC any wooden coaster that looks a certain way. You know, it's like, oh, that one over there, and this one over here, and up over here, and there. You can't be all willy-nilly about this. We need wooden coasters to survive, and this is just...
And I see, this is one of the big things about Roar for me, is Six Flags America actually has a really good maintenance department. And I know people want to throw out little facts and little snippets about situations that say, oh no, it's terrible maintenance. It's not terrible maintenance, because the fact that their rides break down at times does not mean that their maintenance is terrible. The fact that when those rides break down, maintenance is usually on the scene within 10 minutes usually, and often have it fixed 15 minutes after that. That's the sign of a good maintenance department. But even that aside, the park actually we have Wild One there, which is is it the second oldest coaster? I mean, I know Lake of the Dips is the oldest, but
I think so. It's over 100 years old easily. So it's definitely up there.
Yeah. So that's a classic that, God forbid they ever do something stupid like RMC. But
oh, that would be tough.
You have a park there that has a classic that is well maintained, and they do a really good job of maintaining it. And you have Roar, which is also well maintained. Now, Roar is a little more aggressive, so it needs a little more maintenance. But you're in a park that the team actually understands wooden coasters, and they do a good job of maintaining those, as opposed to, like, I don't know. I think if you just look at Six Flags in general, most of the parks seem to just kind of, especially the big parks, they just don't maintain wooden coasters well at all. And
yeah, I agree.
There's a trend with Six Flags parks. Well, Six Flags America is different. They're not in that trend. They actually take care of these things. And that's a big part of this. If you're in it, if you have a park, I mean, I really honestly would compare Wild One and Roar to the same level as like Kennywood coasters, because of the maintenance. Like, they actually maintain these. They actually care about them. They actually, put the effort into them, not letting them just fall apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, that's a big thing. Even if it wasn't a coaster that I absolutely enjoy, I think that's a big part of it. If you're going to look at, like, if we have to lose wooden coasters, the last place we want to lose wooden coasters are out of parks that actually know how to maintain them.
Yeah.
And it's a rare thing for a chain park to actually maintain them.
I agree. And that's my big key point as well when I'm talking about RMC. And I know you'll agree with this. You should not actively advocate for a coaster's demise. It's just, it defeats the whole point of claiming to be an enthusiast. If you're enthusiastic about roller coasters, you want them to prosper, you want them to survive. It doesn't make sense to actively call for complete destruction of them, and you can't. Oh, it's preserving the wooden. No, it's not preserving the coaster. It is keeping the structure and ripping off the parts of it. Even, I mean, it's the bare minimum in terms of keeping the coaster intact. I mean, you take the track away, you take the whole ride experience away. It's pretty much just getting rid of it. So it's not the same.
A lot of people, you also hear this a lot. I hear people all the time, well, it's the shortest line in the park. Well, first of all, that's not always true. But secondly, here's a big difference. Even if it is the shortest line in the park, one, that ride actually has a higher throughput, and that team actually gets things going. Not to mention, it almost always is running 2 trains, as opposed to other coasters in the park, which don't always run 2 trains. And then Superman, that I don't know what the deal is with the ops on Superman. But my point is they're moving people through quickly. So that's going to make it a shorter line. That doesn't, and I don't know why line length is such, like, that seems to be the metric people use for good coasters, bad coasters, and what people like. Because, you hear it about I-305. Oh, I-305 is a flop because it always has a short line. No, I-305 has a short line because they move people through there really, really quick. And it's a short ride. I mean, that has a lot to do, it's not because everybody hates I-305. That's not the case. Now, yes, there's more people that won't ride it, but that doesn't mean that there's not a ton of people that love it.
Also, location for I-305 is crucial. I mean, it's in the very back of the park, so a lot of times people, I don't think, get back there. I mean, I know.
Yeah,
for a
but
fact,
I mean, even so,
I know for a fact, general public have actually asked me before, like, where is, like, they'll point to, where is that ride? And I'm like, oh, it's like, go. It's kind of difficult to find. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it has its
well, I mean,
own
it's a lot
secluded area.
it's a lot easier to find than Grizzly.
Yeah, that's for sure. Kingston Dominion has some weird locations for rides. I'm telling you, it's almost like they want people to have like an adventure to find them.
Yeah,
but I-305 I think that plays into as well because it is somewhat difficult. That's why a lot of the rides, like Dominator, has a long line all the time because it's literally the first coaster people see. Everyone goes straight to it. It's right at the front of the park. It's right there. Bam. Immediate satisfaction. You're on the ride. You're there, and that's why it always has that huge line coming in. Whenever I walk into the park, it always has the longest line for sure. And I think it's just because it's right there. Everyone can see it. It's in the focal point of the parking lot.
That's actually kind of an interesting thing with Roar too. I've always kind of thought Roar being at the front of the park, but the more I think about it, when you walk into the park, your tendency is to go to the right. And I actually could see you actually kind of missing Roar, depending on how you navigate the park. Because there is kind of a tendency to go to the right, and then once you're in like the Mardi Gras area, that's another one. But Roar, well, think about it. Roar's kind of right in front of that little wing that goes off to Mind Eraser.
Sure. But Mind Eraser was the one for me that got me lost.
So I never actually thought of that, but that could be a contributing factor.
I mean, location
but
is
here's the other
thing.
Rides, yeah. But here's the other thing. Okay, short line, whatever. I bet you the number of people that are in that line are more dedicated to that ride than just like, oh, let's go ride this. I bet you like there's just a lot of I don't know how to put it. There's other people like me that really love Roar a lot. And just because we may not be the majority doesn't mean we're not.
You guys have an attachment to the ride,
significant,
so to speak.
Right. So the thing is there's like for me, it's tied for my number one in the park. Between it and Superman, those are by far the two rides that the Flying Dutchman. I really like the Batwing as well.
I do too.
My number one though, is tied between Superman and Roar. That's how much I love them. And the problem is if you take Roar out of the park, you kind of are getting. It's not to the same level as like what Volcano was being removed from King's Dominion, but to a segment of the park goers, it can be a big effect because that's a crucial part of visiting.
Why they go is disappearing. Yeah,
exactly. Like if you take Roar out of that park, well, the number of major factors for me to go to that park are now.
Well, they might argue, hey, we're not arguing to get rid of it though. We're arguing to get a brand new RMC in there. So that might draw you into. That might be a part of people saying that their argument.
See, now here's another thing though too. Is an RMC? Yes, I see that. Oh, an RMC is like such a great thing, and it drives like. But are we going to hit? I mean, we have to soon hit the point where RMCs become like B&Ms, where it's like, oh yeah, I can already ride that at this park or this park. I don't need a third park that has one.
Yeah,
and
we'll reach there eventually. I don't think we've necessarily gotten there yet,
see,
for sure. But
with Six Flags America, I mean,
think about it. King's Dominion's the closest park, and that's about 2.5 hours away, though. So a lot of the audience that's above and to the sides probably aren't of Baltimore aren't going to be going down to Doswell and riding. So I don't necessarily think that's.
Yeah, I guess we don't have any in Pennsylvania yet.
Yeah, and then I don't even.
Actually,
I guess you have to go to New England to get to RMC.
Yeah, but even so, like it's kind of like that'd be more of a Great Adventure thing.
Well, in Great Adventure, now Great Adventure will have one. So, but I guess
they're getting
it's not the same type.
So.
I don't know. I think a Raptor would fit America.
I don't
to be
know.
honest. So that's
Either
really
way,
that's my solution to this issue is that keep Roar, get a Raptor. That way, what happens is you increase people coming to the park for a new coaster, but then you also, if it does have a short line all the time, which is what they say, hey, people will be like, hey, let's go ride Roar now, and then that might get ridership up on that ride as well. If that is something that is said, I don't know. I don't typically pay attention to those guys arguing about Roar online, but if that's an argument that they make a lot, then that would increase ridership on Roar, and it might create a fondness for the ride for many people that haven't been to America in a while or whatever. You know, I think there's a mutual benefit to having Roar still operating and having an RMC Raptor or just a ground up RMC at the park. But I don't know.
Yeah,
but I'm not the guy that if a park decides to do it, I'm not gonna. I know you'll be like really upset and it'll be just devastating for you, and I understand that. But I'm again, I don't want you to actively advocate for its demise, but I don't necessarily when the park does it, if they really strongly feel it's in the best interest of the park, I can't necessarily argue against it because I think there are some factors that we don't always get in from that business aspect they have access to. You know, because
sure.
So, it was a lot of people like will argue. I've seen people that don't like, none like us. We think that RMC is being overutilized and kind of overstepping its boundaries. But there are people that actually just hate RMC, like as a company, and think that they are awful. And those people will say, "Oh, you know, it shouldn't be on." They just hate the company, and it's like I don't think that's fair to either. Just hate on the company. I think they have done some good things for the industry, and I think they have.
I mean, yeah, they definitely have, and I'm not. This isn't an all-out attack on RMC. I'm worn out of RMCs in a sense, but see, there's another angle of this though too, and we talked about this a while ago on the show. You know, one of the biggest reasons why RMC became a thing was because Six Flags was tired of doing maintenance on wooden coasters. That was one of the biggest driving forces that made RMC into the big thing that RMC is today. But you still have a wooden structure, so
you still have
and like I mean we've been hearing, you know, obviously there's nothing written in stone, like we can't point to a solid reference, but I've heard many park employees as well as like other people who have really pointed to the fact that Cedar Point has dumped so much money into Still Vengeance's structure.
Yeah, even Twisted
it would have
Timbers.
been cheaper for them to.
Do you remember last year or the year before, like they had to get in some new wood on Twisted Timbers? I remember walking by and it was like pretty obvious. It was like structure, and then it was like bright, brand new yellow wood, and you could totally see it contrasting like the darker, already previously existing structure that was there.
That's the thing where I think now we're at a point where, and I don't know this for a fact, but I'm suspecting that it might be better for a park to build a ground up RMC, because when that's done, they generally are going to go with a steel structure.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they do an iBox, they're going to use the steel lattice structure, kind of like what Gravity Group's using on their Woodies.
Yeah, Goliath, Six Flags Great America's. Actually, so they used that for the structure of the lift hill was steel, but the actual coaster itself was wooden. So, and I believe the track's wooden too. So that was a bad example, but continue.
Yeah. So you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man.
But yeah, like I think that's. I mean, I just think that kind of makes more sense. And I mean, it sounds like in the video, I don't know. It's kind of hard to decipher exactly, but there was kind of hints that maybe Penguins, whatever it is, the water ride, is disappearing, and I think that would be a great location for a coaster.
Yes.
It
would be. I
have RMC. You know, I'm not advocating against an RMC at Six Flags America. I just don't want to see them lose something that I think is a big part of that park.
It's an important asset for them. I think, but what I was trying to get to earlier when I when I was talking about RMC haters. If they do choose to do an RMC roar, I don't think it's necessarily an awful thing. Like, I understand that it'll be disappointing and very upsetting for some people, but I mean, respect the park's decision. But at the same time, as you actually kind of got to, it seems that sometimes while they do make these great assertions of, oh, it helps us with maintenance and it helps us with cost and helps us with overhead, there, as we just stated with Twisted Timbers, the wooden stuff I was going to get to, it needs to be replaced, and there's still some cost there. So, to be honest, a good coaster for them to invest in, I think, is a pure steel ride, and Raptor would be great fit for that park. I think that's the best choice. If they go with the ground up, as you stated, that's fine too. But and then the plot of land you just said specifically, I think would fit a Raptor really well. And me and Bob actually, before this podcast is released, we'll be at Six Flags America. So I'm sure we'll look at it, and we could probably speculate where it's going to be at. But I think that it's kind of like a smaller plot of land there, but I think it would really fit an RMC well. It would hug it tight, and it would really work well in that section of park. So, yeah, that's what's occurring here at Six Flags America. Six Flags.
So you know what else would actually work there
What's that?
is a Hyper GTX.
Oh yes, it would.
And guess what I found out today, as well as a lot of other people.
A lot of
Apparently,
individuals, yeah.
Chance now is offering inversions on the Hyper GTX model.
Which is an excellent decision, I think. Combine both
Yeah,
the solid airtime moments and great. And I mean, people have already always made the claim that Hyper GTX is just an RMC.
Wait, hold on. Let's not go the Still Phantom route.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. But I don't expect them to.
But it's always been said that Hyper GTXs are pretty much just RMCs, so that would be a great choice for America, for any park, really. I don't understand why we don't see more of these, but now
I don't either.
Now we might. Maybe this was it. Maybe parks needed to be reminded of this model and of the things it can accomplish and the great elements that it can include within its ride experience. Maybe this will be it. Hopefully, because Bob, I want to see these so bad everywhere.
I do too. Lightning Run is such an amazing coaster. If you haven't been to Kentucky Kingdom and been on Lightning Run,
it makes it worth it.
You need to do
it. Makes it.
Like,
that is the coaster that makes it worth the trip to Kentucky Kingdom, in my opinion.
And for me, I know a lot of people love Storm Chaser, but oh my God, Lightning Run is so much better than Storm Chaser, in my opinion. It is just phenomenal. I just love it so much.
It is a better ride, in my opinion, yes. I don't know if I'd say so much better, but it is better.
I would.
I will make that claim, but Bob can do that, yeah.
But, it's like, it's first of all, just to let you know that this news comes in the form of an ad. Chance actually placed this ad in, I think it was the third page of Attractions magazine.
Amusement Today.
Or Amusement Today, sorry. Yeah, so this is, they're marketing this, and I really hope obviously this is a thing to get more interest in it. And parks, I don't know, I don't understand why parks aren't listening. I mean, every enthusiast, and I know parks aren't all about enthusiasts, I get that, but my God, just for once, will some park somewhere listen to us and look at Chance? Come on, take a chance on Chance. We need to make those shirts. Take a chance on Chance.
Maybe we do. We might need to do that, yeah. And we can even play the ABBA song, Take a Chance on Me.
They're just so great. I mean, they're and it's the track technology that was used on Morgan, and Morgan was also amazing.
They're rather inexpensive. I think the Hyper GTX is like $6 million, $5 million, something in that ballpark. So it's definitely a bargain there for a fantastic ride. I mean, easily one of the best coasters out there, I think. And I think there's so much to do
I
because
don't understand, like,
there's so much to
why.
do with them too. You can, I mean, we've seen a smaller model of them, but who knows? These things could be taller, could be bigger if a park so desired. I mean, there's so much possibility with this ride type that we haven't seen. So I don't get why we haven't seen a purchase of any type for this model. Maybe it got swept under the rug because it went to a smaller park, and I don't know, but it needs to be revitalized as a option that parks seriously consider
Yeah.
because they're missing out.
I
They're missing
don't
out. I mean, especially
like.
for Six Flags
Yeah.
America,
All this talk about
Lightning Rod would
RMC.
work so well. Oh man!
Oh yeah, absolutely. It would be phenomenal. Phenomenal.
All right, screw all the people saying RMC roar. Let's get a Lightning Rod 2.0 at America. Come on.
Lightning
Park president.
Run. Not lightning rod. Lightning rod.
Lightning Run. What's park president? I don't remember his name. Six Flags America park president guy. Listen up. Listen
I
up.
don't remember his name.
I think it's something Richard.
He's new.
Is it Richard something? Maybe. Am I completely? Probably not. Right.
I'm completely blank too.
I need to make
I
a statement to him, so I need to know his name. I feel like I'm Richard something. Maybe I'm missing it here. I probably am. If only I could type faster. His
Type
name-
James. Type.
Oh my gosh! It just says park president. Doesn't say his name. Richard Pretlow. Richard Pretlow.
There
All
you
right,
go.
so I was right. Richard. All right, so Richard Pretlow, please listen up. Consider this for your park. Come on. This is a no-brainer win here. I mean, I think Lightning Run is typically the most popular ride at Kentucky Kingdom when I've gone. When we went, remember it was like a dead day, but even Lightning Run still had a line. So
Yeah.
they seem like popular rides.
And people talk about it so much.
Oh yeah. I mean, for such a small ride, such a small footprint that it takes, it gets easily some of the most talk about in the industry for sure. And it's for good reason. It's definitely for good reason. So, Six Flags America, please, and anybody really.
Yes.
But Six Flags America in particular. Consider
Yeah, anybody, but yeah, I really do think it's here. Okay, here's aside from my supersized Merlin's Mayhem that I would love to see at King's Dominion, which I know isn't going to happen.
Oh man.
There's two models. There's the SNS Axis and there's Chance's Hyper GTX. King's Dominion and Six Flags America. You two fight over which one gets which, but that's how it's got to be.
Yeah.
One of you gets one of you gets the other, because oh my God, that would be perfect for this region. That's what's needed. So you two decide amongst yourselves which one wants to get which coaster, but there you go. That's
Bob's
That's
made
what
it
you
easy
gotta
for
do.
you. That's your two choices.
right.
Happy with them. Don't complain.
Exactly.
Get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Sticking on the Six Flags chain here, we were talking about Six Flags America. Now it's time to go almost down to Mexico. We're going to stop in Texas, though, to talk about what's going on in Texas with the revoke of the mask mandate in the state and the fact that Six Flags Fiesta Texas and Six Flags Over Texas will both still be implementing the CDC guidelines of wearing a face mask at all times while at their parks. So and they still want you to maintain social distance. They're still saying that you need to basically act like there's a pandemic going on, to be honest. But
The last I checked, there was still a pandemic going on, right?
I believe so.
I think I heard something about that.
And whether or not you agree, disagree, don't care about this take back of the mask mandate and dissolvement of the mask mandate, I think it's good to see that, I mean, they're still enforcing. Because I know there are a lot of individuals that do want to go to parks still and would have to stop. And as much as I don't want to get on either, agree, disagree, don't, whatever, masks are, as we know right now, pretty important. So I think it's good to see that a park like this is enforcing it. And it's up to the parks, it's up to the public, it's up to the private company to enforce it. So I think it's their right to do so. So anyone that's upset with this I mean, it is the company's choice to enforce that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So far, no words out of SeaWorld San Antonio. Yeah.
San
Last I knew, they
Diego?
were still. I always get those two confused
I
because
know.
why did they have to
San
go
Diego
to
can't even
San?
open, so I don't think there's
Like
definitely no
San
word out of them.
Yeah. I this whole week's just been frustrating for me. I hope we can get these vaccines rolled out and curb this quick.
Yeah. All right. So, a little bit of good news, though. This might have lifted your spirits throughout this week, as Cognac Lake has been
It did.
bought for $1.2 million by a company known as, is it Keldon Holdings?
Yes.
Yes.
And that was the company that that approached the trustees.
And I still cannot believe this park sold for $1.2 million. I just can't fathom that price. I know you will argue that it's not that big of a park, but it's just crazy to me. I'm fine with it. Whatever works and whatever keeps this park going, good, okay with me. It's fine, excellent. But I just can't comprehend that a resort has been sold for $1.2 million. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot that goes into that figure. I mean, even if sometimes you have to like consider not even just the value, but the time that's going to be involved in it. But yeah. Anyway, this is actually, from the time this was mentioned, this was kind of what I was expecting to happen. They just had to go through the formalities of the auction, and I believe that this discharges the debt that the park had.
Does
I
I
don't
thought
know
it
why.
was. I thought it reduced it, but I don't think it. I didn't know if it completely
Let me
eradicated
see.
it. I don't know.
It says the
it
proceeds
satisfies
from the sale-
60% of the remaining debts owed to the creditors.
right,
So,
but I believe that part of this whole thing, right? So they cover 60%, but I believe that's all they're going to get now. Like, I think that's the end of it.
oh, okay.
I don't know that for sure, but I believe that was one of the reasons why they went this method of doing this auction, was because once it comes out of the auction,
it's debt free.
It's basically now it's out of bankruptcy. It's done. The new owners have this
we've given them 60% of what they wanted, and that's the end of that story. Kind of, we're closing that chapter.
Right. So, right, exactly.
And it says none of the creditors that have voiced any objections, so that's good too. Nobody was like, "No, we want more."
Yeah. And as I said before, I think the trustees have done a very good job of keeping this park running, and the fact that they seemed excited about this and they felt this was in the park's best interest, that kind of makes me feel good about it. Obviously, anything can happen at any time, but I actually think there's I think this could be a really good thing.
Have we looked into Kelding Holdings at all and seen what all they are about?
No, actually, I haven't. I probably should have done that, but I haven't actually. I think if I recall right, they're based in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I believe that's where they're based. Yes,
I believe they have. I want to say like economic interests in the area. Right. Which is what I'm kind of thinking. Maybe the whole, like there's a lot of people that are like, what do they want with this park? I don't understand what their goal is with this. And I think maybe it just has to do with keeping, like, basically, it's kind of like the surroundings raise property values. It's kind of like, well, this kind of helps the whole economic value of the area stay intact. By having an amusement park there. Even if it's a small one, it's still something that is known.
And maybe they try
You know,
to build
I
it
know
up
growing
somewhat,
up in
possibly too. You know, maybe that's part of their.
yeah, I mean, I
goals.
definitely could see them doing that. But I think the thing is like, you know, I grew up outside of Pittsburgh, and it was actually like kind of southeast, yeah, like southeast of Pittsburgh. So I'm like even on the other side of Pittsburgh from Cognac Lake. But you know, when I was a kid, Cognac Lake was advertised a lot. We saw the. It's actually a funny story. I was just talking to my sister about this a couple weeks ago. Actually, it was on our way home from Winter Chill out last weekend. And we we always used to bug our parents to go there. And our parents got tired of hearing it apparently, and they told us like, no, it's not an amusement park. It's not. Like, they completely outright lied to us. Now we're like, why? What? you guys, we called our parents out. It was just kind of a funny story. But like we knew, like, even as kids, we knew that name, Cognac Lake Park, and you know, we were a few hours away, and that's the only thing we knew about the area. We didn't even know about Waldemere. I mean, and now, you know, kind of Waldemere is the place to go more than Cognac. But yeah, I just think like there's something to that name that kind of like makes that immediate area more of a draw from, you know, maybe not nationwide, but certainly the region. You know, you actually bring more people into the region, which kind of increases the economy and, you know, can increase the value of things in the area. So I think that might be some of the motive. And, you know, it seems like in just some of the things I read with like what the trustees were saying, it seems like they, you know, this holding company kind of like they recognize that Cognac Lake has to function in a certain way. Like it makes me a little more optimistic that they're not going to come in and like, you know,
Completely.
oh, let's get rid of Blue Streak.
Yeah. RMC
because that would kill the party. Oh my god, no. Oh my god. But yeah, I think this is a good thing, and there's part of me that kind of makes me wonder if this holding company might actually look to the trustees and actually hire some of them to actually come on and still continue to run the park.
Interesting.
I don't know. That's totally just a thought I had, and it just kind of I don't know, it kind of makes sense in a way. But I think that would be great because I think the trustees have done a really good job. So yeah, well, I mean, we'll have to see what happens. Hopefully, I definitely want to stop up there again this year.
Yeah,
and
I would
you know,
like to get
a
up there
couple rides on
eventually.
Blue Streak. I mean, it's a great park. It's a great park to stop at on your way to Waldemere. You know, it's not a park you're going to spend a whole day at, but it's a great park to, you know, spend a half hour or maybe even an hour, if that, you know, on your way to Waldemere, because Waldemere is not completely a full day park either. So they just complement each other really well, I think.
Indeed. All right. Well, closing out this week's news segment is a bit of a strange story unfolding at Universal Orlando, and unfolding, I'm sure a lot of you saw just in general throughout America and the world here, with the Dr. Seuss predicament here, where the company has basically revoked 6 of the books that their author, Dr. Seuss, wrote. I can't remember every single name, but because of alleged racist allegations against the books, they have decided to pull them off the shelves. And now, because of that, Universal Orlando is saying that it's going to be evaluating the future of its popular kids' play area, named after one of the Dr. Seuss books that's being pulled from the shelves. So, it's interesting. I'm of the opinion that I mean, the actual attraction itself has no racial undertones at all, and obviously, a major park like that wouldn't do something like that because it's a terrible business decision. So, the actual playground itself and the actual area that this book is being themed after, or this area is being themed after this book, is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't see a reason to do that. But I'm even of the opinion with the books being pulled of maybe just having a disclaimer like, hey, this might spark some controversy. This might be offensive to some. Like what Disney, I think Disney Plus is doing that with some of the older Disney movies that people aren't happy with. That's fine to do something like that. But I think Universal said they're going to pull all those books off the shelves still. They're going to comply with that. And I just think that's a little excessive. I mean, these books are
I
most part
I don't know.
family friendly and wacky and weird already. So I don't see. I mean, I read
I don't
Dr. Seuss
fully
growing up, and
understand.
I'm not a not a racist now, so I don't see like that's not gonna happen from that either.
No,
So
that's not. That's not, that's this.
I
I
know,
don't.
but even if
I
it,
don't fully understand. I don't fully understand this at all. But I think the important thing is though is that you and I are not the we're not the race that's being marginalized. Like we can't necessarily understand what
well,
that
sure,
means to them, and I don't want to, I don't want to
I'm not
say,
saying that I don't
oh,
agree
this
with
doesn't
that.
make any sense. I don't, I just, yeah, I don't know. I know that some things have come up about Dr. Seuss
I agree.
like a
Yeah,
while
before.
ago, but like never, like it wasn't like, I don't know. It just seemed like it wasn't that big of a thing, but now it is. And I don't know. I don't fully grasp it. And, but, I don't, I haven't really looked into it, and I'll be the first to say that. Um, I think it's a little bit ridiculous that people were saying like, oh, Dr. Seuss is canceled, Dr. Seuss is banned. That is not the case. I mean, this is the Dr. Seuss company opting not to publish 6 of the books anymore. That's the root of what's going on. And there's even so like the county that I work in, Loudoun County, Virginia, um, they actually have been going crazy trying. There's apparently some kind of rumor that started that last year Loudoun County banned Dr. Seuss in their entire school district, and that's not the case at all, not even remotely. And they're trying to get the word out there and say, look, no, this isn't like we don't know where this came from. This isn't what happened. We still have Dr. Seuss in like it's bizarre some of the things that are being said that aren't being backed up.
Yeah. But let me
But like
can I restate my thoughts on this because I don't want it to come up. I understand that I don't understand how it feels to be subject to this whatever. I don't know what exactly it is in these books that is being called out. But if it does upset some people, I understand that, and I totally don't want it to be appearing that I don't in any way, shape, or form. All I'm saying is I don't think that the course of action is to completely stop the sale of the books, as it is, I think, a good solution to warn people up front and to tell people, and you can even explain why it's wrong and what is so wrong about it, and then then the people can decide, all right, I'm going to purchase this book, I'm not going to purchase this book. Because there are tons of books out there that I'm sure have, I mean, I know people have mentioned before have some incorrect facts or wrong derogatory language. That's all over the place. It's our choice to buy them and to be subject to that. And I don't think it necessarily needs to be pulled off the shelves. Again, it's the company's decision. I agree. I'm not saying that people advocated for this and this cancel culture and all that. I just think that the course of action necessary is maybe to tell people and to inform people of why it's wrong and what's so wrong about it, and to have that as kind of a disclaimer almost at the beginning of the book or something. I don't know, that's just my thoughts. But regardless, it doesn't really matter of what we're talking about, because it's just the land in this area. Not to get into to diverge into too weird of a path, right? Too weird of a segment there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're evaluating it. That's the whole like. So I don't. This is. Let's move on. Epic Universe is resuming construction.
Yes.
We'll talk about that.
Something
Universal
good happening
story.
at Universal. Something more cheerful and exciting for everyone with the Epic Universe continuation of the project there. That's about all that I know about this, is that it's continuing. Is there more to it, really? They've just announced that. We saw the same concept art that we'd seen before. I was under the impression, is this new concept art that's showing this dueling coaster that everyone's talking about? I thought that had already been released before.
I don't know. Like this, I don't really. There isn't anything really announced. The Comcast CEO said they had just paused during COVID till they felt confident enough that they, could see a resumption of a great business.
Yeah, sure.
And now they feel that way. That's basically what brought this on. They feel okay. There's also some quotes that people have been saying that it may be until 2023 or 2024 before like people fully recover. But there's kind of like some of this thinking of like, oh well, let's if we have the money. Comcast has the money because they're about to start charging for this unlimited data crap. So they got all my money. I mean, all of our money. Why not have this built by that time and then, be the ones that are opening this major attraction just as the recovery is kind of completing. So I think, I kind of wonder if that's some of the motive, but I mean, certainly Comcast has the money to put into this, and it still kills me to just put that Comcast name on this because that's what it is. As much as I want to ignore the fact that it's Comcast that owns Universal Studios, that is the case. But yeah, I mean, they certainly have the money. Even but I think that's kind of the thing is like that's a business that they can actually pull money from other sources. For instance, cable. People paying their cable bills, like they're making a ton of money off of that. They can allocate that fund, across.
Yeah.
Whereas like Cedar Fair, all they have is amusement parks.
You could consider yourself a partial owner of this park, right? Because of what you're paying to
I should
to Comcast.
As much as I pay Comcast every month.
Bob is a trustee at
for crappy service
at Comcast.
It's amazing. They do parks so well and they do internet so horribly. Well, it's not even that they do it horribly. They just treat their customers like crap.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know parents have been complaining about Comcast since I was a little child, so I know they're not.
They're a horrible company. They're just a horrible company.
Yeah. Well, that's about it for this attraction news segment. We went all over the place there, but hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you enjoy what we talk about next, as it will be in pertaining to a classic old wooden coaster that a lot of people love. It's Jackrabbit at Kennywood, and we're doing a spotlight on it right after this.
Right. Yay.
We got a little weird there with the Dr. Seuss thing. I was trying not...
Well, you said let's not... I completely stopped myself on the whole mask thing, and then all of a sudden you started to go. I'm like, wait, I thought we weren't doing this.
Well, I just wanted to make my quick little point that they should do a disclaimer, and then that was all I wanted to say. And then you kind of took it, and I was like, wait.
You said more than that.
I did it. All right, we'll have to re-listen to it. Maybe I did, but I don't recall saying more than that at first. Wait, there's a coaster talk in the chat right now.
Yep.
What are you doing with that name? I'm just kidding.
Is that somebody that copied our name?
I don't know. Probably just coincidence they have the same name. Hopefully it wasn't blatant. All right, are you ready to do the second half?
Yeah. Whenever you are.
All right, I'm ready.
Wait, actually, hold on 1 second. Yeah, I don't know what this Revolting Dragon stuff is.
Revolting Dragon? What? What's Revolting Dragons?
I have no idea. All right, so then let's stop bringing this up then if it's not something that we can talk. If you can't show them, let's not bring them up.
Are you talking to me?
No, on the chat there. Apparently, it's part of a video that he had that's illegal. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah. Don't talk about illegal stuff, please.
yeah, like. All right.
Are you ready for the second half?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
3. Wait, we're 3, 2.
Let's talk about the 5th oldest operating roller coaster in the world right now, Jackrabbit at Kennywood.
Yeah, this is certainly one of the best roller coasters and one that better never be RMC'd.
It is definitely a solid wooden coaster for sure.
And the interesting thing about Jackrabbit is it was actually one of the first. I don't know if it was the first, but it was one of the first that actually had upstop wheels. It was right after the invention of that.
And it features the only double dip in the world. which is a great element. And I
Really,
love,
the only?
yeah, the only double dip, yeah. And it is an excellent ride. It's a really popular ride too. I mean, was it the first? Is it the first coaster that's used the name Jackrabbit? Because
I don't know. It was a popular name
I
back
know it
then,
was
I
a really
believe,
popular
'cause
name back then.
there are now two popular ones. The other one is I don't remember where.
I think it's like
Well, actually, the problem is when you search for Jackrabbit on RCDB, like it doesn't even give you all the results because there's too many. 37 roller coasters are named Jackrabbit.
that's insane. There's one in New York too at Seabreeze.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. But yes, this ride was
Yeah, these
originally
are the
built.
only two that are operating.
Yeah, it was originally built by John Miller in 1921. It's an excellent ride. So I don't know, maybe want to share some stories from the first time we rode it because I remember mine pretty well.
I'm trying to. I don't know if that I can actually. I don't know my first. I do remember the first time my sister rode it. My dad still tells the story of how he was still to this day he says that he saved her life because she was going to fly out. I don't know. all I know is him telling the story about that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean I was real little. I probably was like 5 years old, I think, when I first rode it, 5 or 6, something like that. I don't even know if there was a height requirement back then.
Just a be alive requirement.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure.
So, my first ride on Jackrabbit, I think it was 2016, I believe. And I mean, I cannot tell you, for some reason, Kennywood was the park that was hyping me up so much. I was also going to Cedar Point that trip. But 2015, James had never been an enthusiast before, had never gone to parks outside of Virginia before. This is my first park. So imagine that. Remember your first coaster that you rode that really got you into the enthusiast craze, and that's kind of what Jackrabbit did. It didn't get me into that phase, but it definitely aided along the process because, of course, my first coaster was Rebel Yell, and from then I loved roller coasters. But it was again my first trip outside of Virginia, so this was like a big step in the enthusiast chain for me. And so I get to Kennywood, and Jackrabbit's the first coaster I go to because I believe Skyrocket was closed, which is probably shocking to many of you. But I did later get on it. But my first coaster ended up being Jackrabbit. And I'd been watching POVs. I've been watching some of the off-ride footage videos of this ride. I'm like, oh, this is going to be excellent. It's going to be cool. It's old, but I have a feeling it's going to be good. And it even then, therefore, exceeded those expectations after I got off. I mean, I wish you guys could have seen my face. I was in love with that ride. I didn't think there could be anything better at Kennywood until I walked over and I was like, wait, I completely forgot about Phantom's Revenge. That's definitely going to be like the best coaster here, but nah. And then, I mean, to be honest, Thunderbolt is excellent too. So that's right up there with Jackrabbit. I think Thunderbolt might be actually, once I rode that, I was like, oh, that might actually be my favorite Woody here. But nonetheless, Jackrabbit is excellent. Provides some really great airtime. It's a fantastic ride. It's a historical gem, and it's awesome. It has the 100th anniversary logo now because it's been 100 years in operation. We actually, when we were at East Coaster a couple years ago, remember they released that signage for us. They showed us that while we were at East Coaster, which was pretty cool. We saw that early. So yeah, it's just, this ride is excellent. It's a great little ride there. And every time I go back, it surprises me more and more because, you get that feeling when you ride coasters a lot of kind of you're settling in, you kind of understand how the ride works, and it starts to slowly progress into almost like I think that's what happens with Intimidator 305 for me, is that I've ridden it so much, and I'm so glad I almost had like a year now of buffer time. But I ride a ride so much in it, and it gets to that point where you're like, you kind of know it, you've learned it, and it doesn't do the same thing it used to when you first rode it, and you were like, what the heck? My mind was just blown. I still love Intimidator 305, but it's not mind blown outstandingness anymore. Like I'm shocked when I get off Intimidator 305 because I know it, and that I figured might happen with Jackrabbit. But every time I go, that double dip is still like, oh, some of the greatest airtime ever.
Yeah, it is absolutely unreal. It's crazy too that it's such a rare thing to have a roller coaster that basically starts long before you hit a lift hill.
I know.
And Kennywood has 2 of them.
2, yeah. That's what I love about Thunderbolt too. I told my cousin,
Thunderbolt just drops right out of the station.
Exactly. I told my cousin when we first went,
pretty cool.
Like, I didn't tell him what to expect there, and I told him that it just, I was like, oh, that's just a little dip there, it's fine. And then we dropped down out of the station. What the heck? Like when we're flying, going up towards Phantom's Revenge. What the heck? That was crazy. Like people just don't. Yeah, you don't get that experience at any rides really, and it's crazy they have 2 that do, not to the same extent on Jackrabbit, but would do that. It's awesome.
So I honestly, Jackrabbit is by far the best wooden coaster in that park. I think. I
don't know.
Thunderbolt's okay, but it just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't do the same. Jackrabbit's so much better, and I often wonder what it would be like if Thunderbolt actually still had the double dip that it had. Before it became the Thunderbolt. I just can't even fathom like coming off of that. Like dropping into the ravine from high up. Like I don't know. I feel like that. I feel like Thunderbolt may not be able to be touched if it still had the double dip. But that's the thing about Jackrabbit. You just keep coming back to that double dip, and like that's the ride's so much fun in itself, but that double dip just pushes it over the edge.
I agree, and it's not a fair assessment to say that I don't think Jackrabbit is there with Thunderbolt as a great ride. It is. For me, Thunderbolt's just the better of the 2, and I think that it's more intense. It has the better laterals. It has that drop. I think the out of the station and also the actual main drop of the ride are pretty great on Thunderbolt. But yeah, Jackrabbit's right there with it. It's excellent. It has a lot of fun elements. I love that tunnel on Jackrabbit. That doesn't get talked about enough, I don't think, either. It's pretty pitch black in there, and it's pretty cool to like all of a sudden get turned around and you're like, whoa, like it's pretty disorienting. A lot of tunnels have like light flooding in at times, and you still can see very easily. But because they built it like into the ground, and the tunnel isn't actually built into like a structure or anything, and there's not light coming in at all, it is pretty pitch black in there, which I think is really cool. And that's really an interesting part of the ride. Because for me, when I first rode it, I didn't understand that would happen, and I was like, whoa, like it's pretty great. It's pretty great in use of terrain there with building that tunnel into the side of the hill there.
Yeah, that's more parks should have ravines. That's what's missing in most amusement parks.
Terrain is they don't have useful ravines. Aspect of parks that is often overlooked and not used. But if you can see by Dollywood, Kennywood, I mean the woods, I guess.
Waldemere.
Yeah.
Ravine Flyer 2. They even named it Ravine Flyer 2.
Uh-huh. Yeah, terrain's important, and it can really make or break a coaster at times, and Jackrabbit definitely utilized it greatly. So that is a bit about it on our spotlight of Jackrabbit. Excellent ride. Out of 10, maybe we do out of 10 here. I'd probably give it a 8.5, 9 out of 10. It's really, really good, solid ride.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's at least a 9. At least a 9. I'd say 9.5, maybe.
All right, so you're going a little further.
It's in my top. It's in my top 40.
Yeah, it's not there. It's not quite there for me. So, but it's excellent. I agree. So that is it for that little spotlight. We did some park spotlights back. Geez, it must have been 2019, I guess, actually. So not that recently, actually. I always, again, when you do these every week, it's like
time's
time
irrelevant.
just, yeah, the number of episodes that we've done, I can't really count. Like 111, that doesn't make sense to me that, like, a year ago it was 50 at number 50. Like, it's just weird. So, actually, it might have been 2019 that we did some park spotlights. So maybe we'll do some ride spotlights in the future every once in a while. If we think of one that we want to talk about. And that's one of the ones we decided to do because we both enjoy that ride a lot. But it's time to move on to our weekly poll for the week. As we talked about SeaWorld and their ticket prices on last week's show, I believe when we were talking about the stock rise, which is still, SeaWorld's still, I believe, doing well stock-wise. I think they still might be hitting some first-time highs for the chain and the stock market still. So that's great. But talking about the poll now, we got some submissions from the audience in response, and I'm trying to pull them up real quick. So stalling for time here, and here we go. All right. So we got some responses from the listeners on our, which again, go to coachtalkpodcast.com/poll if you want to answer the weekly poll, because we really appreciate audience interaction. We got a response from someone named Phil on the show, on the website here. He said, the question again, do you think SeaWorld may push customers away due to ticket prices? And he wrote a hefty response here, so I'll read it real quick. You get what you pay for. I think SeaWorld right now, prices are adequate for the experience you receive while at the parks, and I don't think there's any indication of their customers being, quote, pushed away right now. In future terms, if prices raise a significant amount, which isn't very likely in my opinion, maybe, question mark, we really have no reason to believe prices will rise that severely, though. That was his response to that question.
So, I real quick, I do want to respond to one thing in that about the indication of prices rising.
We did say significantly.
SeaWorld Orlando. Well, SeaWorld Orlando, I believe, just raised their prices more than $30 at admission prices. I believe.
Maybe to him that's not the significant value that.
I don't know. I want to say it was more than that. I wish I knew what it was, but I knew I was talking to Andrew Hyde about it, and he actually brought it up. It makes me want to say that they were like right around the same price as like Busch Gardens, like 80, and then they went to 110. But I don't know that.
$120 for a ticket to SeaWorld Orlando.
$120.
Yeah, $199, $119.99. But I still don't think that's to the level of like significant factors that make people go, nah, I'm not going there anymore. Maybe I would feel like a significant value for me would be you're starting to get like 150, 160, even higher than that. That's when you start going, all right, I might have to reevaluate if a trip here is worth it. That's to me is maybe what he meant by severe. I don't know. I can't speak for Phil, but in my opinion,
I don't know. I mean, but you're approaching those like neighboring parks. I don't know. It's just kind of interesting.
But yeah, I mean, you have to also, you have to think about that because that's part of pricing. Pricing strategies is you want to.
Well, no,
you don't want to undersell your park.
I haven't been to SeaWorld, but does SeaWorld have enough to compete with Universal and Disney?
As we talked about on last week's show, though, it's 200 acres as opposed to Isles of Adventure, which is 100. So there is a larger footprint there, and I feel like there's just as many attractions. They have 4 coasters. I don't know. Now that they're at this level of pricing, I think you gotta question if they continue to rise. Is it going to be worth it? That's where it starts to get into play. Like if there's a continual rise to even higher prices, maybe the audience starts going, I don't know if I want to visit the park anymore. But I don't.
Let's move on with some other
know.
Other responses, and then we'll talk more.
All right. So we got a response from Cam, listener of the show that we know well. He said no, and he said no because with their daily ticket prices compared to that of other parks prices, they aren't that far off from each other. When it comes to season passes, I think they could drive customers away, though. So he thinks.
See, that's more of what I've been thinking.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I think their season passes are pretty overpriced. I mean, I don't know if they have it financially formulated that is how they have to, like, in order to make I don't know how they've decided that that's the right price, but I think that, what is it, I don't know how we're both paying an absurd amount of money for the platinum ticket, and that's just
$360 a year for Busch Gardens. Williamsburg.
that is crazy.
It's an obscene amount of money, especially since the next closest, well, excluding Sesame Place, we have to go to Florida for the next closest park. That's the absurdity.
Yeah, it is. I agree, and
I mean, if
that
there
is
are
something.
more other parks closer together,
Unless
what's more absurd is I think it's cheaper to get a platinum pass in Florida where they have 2 parks than it is for us to get it up here where we really only have one and a half, maybe, if you count Sesame Place.
Yeah, I don't know. And then we actually did we did a poll on all our social media, and we said yes or no, and I tallied it up, and it was a total of, I believe, 20 people that said no, they're not going to drive people away, and 17 that said yes. So it's pretty, like,
That's close.
it's close for sure. And then we got 2 more responses via social media.
Oh.
I'll read those real quick, and then we can discuss a little bit
Yep.
more.
Certainly.
Mike, Airtime Mike, who's been on the show before, responded. He said people are struggling to make ends meet right now. So I guess he's assuming that the prices at SeaWorld rising is because parks are trying to recoup, he says.
Yeah. But people that need to go to the parks are also struggling. Like, the people that would go to the parks are struggling. So a higher ticket price is going to hurt them more.
But it also could be the logic of, but these people really want to go to parks right now as well. So they're going to pay more to go to a park because they haven't been to a park in a year and a half. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, like, because this is all marketing, right? What we're talking about, the people that do marketing, pub PR. I'm sure they have these type of discussions and they think about it when they do price evaluations of tickets and stuff. I really need to hear their logic behind the season passes, but just the ticket rise piece at Orlando right now, talking about that. I really am curious to see if, like, why that was if it was this COVID, or if it's here to stay, if it's temporary, if it's long term. I don't know. But if that is the case,
I'd say this: even if it was temporary, if it works, it's not temporary. It's going to last.
true,
Even if they could
true.
afford to lower the price, they're not going to lower their price.
If they see, as we were stating, a pushback from their customers, though, maybe they do.
Oh yeah. That could happen.
And then the last response we got was from a user that I don't know the name of, because that's why, again, we love you to respond on their website because you guys give us their names and we get to kind of connect with you guys a little bit more. But this is a user on a social media that said, I have an annual pass, but their model leans more towards fun cards and multi-visit passes.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I agree.
I think that's kind of the problem with. Well, Andrew Hyde, this was actually something that came up in the conversation. I think this was a conversation with Andrew Hyde. I may be remembering somebody else's conversation. If so, I'm sorry. But he was saying that the whole motive behind SeaWorld is you have a fun card that is slightly more than the ticket price that you kind of like, in a sense, you kind of sucker people into buying. And then the majority of those people don't come back for that year. So you basically kind of like pulled them into buying something that they're not going to use. Of course, that's not fully the case. Some people do use it, but for the majority, like that's kind of their stance, and that makes sense. I understand that perspective. I think the bigger problem that SeaWorld faces, and this is kind of, a lot of times when you hear me say about their cost, most of the time I'm talking about season pass. Well, I guess annual pass. And I just think I think the pass is out of control, because to get a pass that has free parking at Busch Gardens, just a single park pass. This isn't even counting Water Country. This is just for Busch Gardens Williamsburg, period. To get a pass that includes parking is only $15 less than Cedar Fair's Platinum Pass, that is all of their parks, that includes free parking at all of their parks.
Yeah.
So,
but my theory is, though, to state my point of view on this, is I agree that the prices are crazy. I think they're at times just plain absurd, but I don't see them continuing to have these prices if they don't see in the audience and the customers willing to pay them. Like yes, that's not a great reason to have those prices, is because they're paying it, we'll keep it like that expensive and crazy. But they definitely probably have their research done and showed, we're still getting, we're still increasing on attendance, we're still doing this and we're still doing that, and everything's going well, so let's just keep these prices high. Now, talking on like a moral, ethical sense of not overcharging your customers, that's a different argument, and I totally concur with you there. I think it's wrong that the prices are so high.
But I think there's also an issue. So here's the thing. If you, let's say that I'm probably the poster child for this, because I've been upset about SeaWorld's passes, but yet I still bought one again. But begrudgingly so, and I feel abused by it. I really do feel like the park is taking advantage of me, especially when I go there and I still have to pay huge amounts of money, which I will say that might be one of the genius things that they're doing, is the higher discounts that are in the new passes.
Yeah.
I mean, that might help, but there's still like sticker shock. But one of the problems is you can kind of like push. The problem is when you do that, you kind of start building resentment, even though I continue to buy passes because I want to go to the park. I'm also kind of resenting it. And once you build that resentment, it's hard. Like you hit me to that point where I'm like, that's it, I'm done. I can't afford this anymore. And at that point, it becomes too late to fix the problem, because I've just had 5 years of resentment and anger towards a company that even if they lower the prices back down, I'm still just so upset, and I'm just burnt out, and I have no more interest in even buying that pass or going to the park, because it's just like, that's all I remember. I just remember like, I bought the pass and I still felt like I was taking advantage of it. And I'll tell you right now, like the way they've been handling this COVID stuff, to me, it feels like they have screamed loud and clear, we don't care about you, especially those of you that paid the most for passes. We don't care, because I mean, what do we have? Like, they just gave everybody below us the same benefits that we have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like
and
they
again,
didn't pay for those. And that not only does that not, like, it's not that you're just giving them benefits, you're taking away from what I paid for, because now all of those people are crowding the same benefits that I paid a premium for. And
Yeah.
I mean, it just, like, you can't just push to the limit and wait till it snaps and then put the rubber band back together. Like, it doesn't happen. You can keep stretching, but once that breaks, that rubber band's gone. It's done. And it's kind of like the same thing. Like, you can keep stretching, but you just wear it out. And that's kind of like, and I think this is where there's that big difference between like the day prices and the annual pass. If you're just going to the park for one day, you just bite the bullet and you pay the expensive cost, and it's one day. The expensive cost, that's not going to be a part. I mean, over $100 to get into a park, like, that's not a park that I'm going to go to frequently. But you don't push those people. Those people save up for a trip. That's what it is. End of story. But the people that are your
loyal.
Yeah, you're loyal. You're most the people you can count on to give you money more and more and more and more. Year after year, month after month, and sometimes week after week. Those are the people that are buying your passes. And those seem to be the ones frustrated. So there's a problem there. You can't frustrate those people because, once they snap, once they've had it, it might be a very long time before they're back.
But I think that's to what's Phil's point. I think as much people might not love the pricing, you pay what you get, and you get a great experience at their parks, and they have great parks, and a lot of people aren't gonna give that up, and a lot of people are going, and I think they see that, and I think, again, to question the moral or ethical grounds on which they're taking advantage of consumers.
But I'm not even talking about the ethics of it. And what he said is absolutely spot on for people that are just buying a single day pass. That is absolutely true. And even with the passes, I'm not saying that I don't expect to pay more for SeaWorld than I do for like Cedar Fair. But there's a point. And it's just like you have to, like, I think your revenue source changes at that point. Me being a pass holder, you're not making your money off of me buying my pass. You're making money from me off of me spending money in the park, for me visiting multiple times per year. Mm-hmm. That's where you're generating revenue from me. And most of your pass holders. This isn't the fun card holders. Those are fun card holders. Those are people that are buying day passes that just are like, oh, let's upgrade. Why not? Those aren't the people that are going to be coming back. But somebody who's actively seeking out to buy a pass, you're going to generate revenue from me spending money in the park. And you can't think of us the same way as like, oh, well, if I'm just going to use round numbers here, let's say admission's $100 to get in the park. Well, okay, that's $100 just like one-time visit. It's $100, but like you can't use the logic of like, oh, well, figure most of our pass holders might come to our park 5 or 6 times. Like, you can't just say, oh, well, it's $500 or $600 for an annual pass.
Yeah.
The economics don't play out that way, but the pass holders are a value to you because we spend money. But then there's that other aspect for me. Like, I feel like I spend so much money on getting into the park that I feel like I can't spend money in the park, if that makes sense. Like, I just like,
yeah.
I spend so much money at Knoebels, it's ridiculous. And I don't spend a whole lot of money at SeaWorld. And there's a reason for that.
That's fair, and I think there is a point. I don't know if they've reached it yet. Still, that most people are going to start feeling that way. I, for one, as much as I don't like the prices, will continue to get a pass there, and I think many people, that's kind of the mindset. Yeah, the price is a little high, but I'm going to continue with my pass holdership. I think that's just how it is right now. If they do, again, I think Phil summed it up greatly still. If there is a significant amount raised in pass holder prices, for sure, definitely. I mean, if they increase the pass holder by like any extent, really, at all, any of the passes, if they increase the price, I think that's going to be an issue. But even with the single day passes, I think there has to be a rise in the existing price right now to truly create that chain effect and to truly have everyone in the same mindset as you. Because I agree with you. I think I'm disappointed, but I still spend money and I still go, and I think more people are on that train right now that, yeah, it's aggravating, it's annoying, it's wrong, kind of, in a sense, that they charge so much for this ticket, but And I'm not saying that you're necessarily wrong with your assessment either. I just think that most people are in that mindset right now, and I think that's what will continue until they do something completely foolish and unacceptable and increase tickets even more at all, if they do. And I think at that point, people are going to go into complete Bob mode and screw them, not spending money at the parks. This is unethical. They're taking advantage. Right now, I think it's kind of heading in that direction, possibly, but I don't know if it's fully there yet. If we have like a
well, no, I mean
staircase,
that's my whole point. Is I think they're going in that direction.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
indication.
There's
There's a lot of pass holders that are really frustrated right now.
Yeah, and I would say I'm frustrated,
And
but I don't know if
they need to fix that.
But I don't know if I'm.
But
willing
that's
to put
not
some
helping.
I don't know if that's pushing me away, per se, to answer the question right now. And I don't know
No,
if there's
not-
any indication that they're going to go in that direction, increasing prices. Like, yeah, they increased SeaWorld Orlando. That's fair. But that's, to me, if it was an $80 ticket, that makes sense. You know, they're in an area where most parks are $100 more. I mean, that's part of marketing, is evaluating, oh, we're underselling our park. We have parks near us that are charging $30-$40 more, and we have just as large of a property and just as many coasters. Why don't we do that? To me, that makes sense. Now, if they start doing it at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and they start doing it throughout all their parks, and they start indicating, hey, we're going to be increasing membership prices, that's when I think you start heading in that direction. Right now, you're on a step that could go up. They could go up that step and take the next leap up to absurdity and absolute madness and craziness. And I think that's when people start going, ding, ding, ding. I don't know if I want to be a pass holder here anymore. But I think they could also just stay afloat right here. Maybe go down, maybe go up, but just stay afloat. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. So I don't think, in my opinion, they're pushing away any pass holders. And I don't think at this point there's any indication that they will. But I agree, if they do. I mean, if any park raises prices too significantly, I think you will start to push away guests. And right now they're just closer to that margin because they already charged kind of a crazy amount.
All right, so next week we get to deal with an even more fun.
Well, one that we kind of
topic.
agree with, though, so I don't know if it'll be as.
Well, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
So even if we have people arguing with us, it'll be the two against one there, as opposed to this where it's me versus you, kind of. I mean, this isn't as much as a disagreement as just a discussion, really. But next week's weekly poll will be more of an argument, because we're going to be asking the question to the audience if RMC should come in and give them the good old treatment to Roar at Six Flags America. And yeah, so you guys are going to answer yes or no and why you think so. And that can be done by going to koshertalkpodcast.com/poll. So we can hear your responses there. Again, that'll be warned that me and Bob both strongly don't be too crazy with your responses.
I'm sure they know.
Just keep it in tune.
They've already heard.
Keep it in check. Yes. So go to, again, koshertalkpodcast.com/poll to answer that. Or follow us on our social media where we'll do updates on the polls and on other industry news. Twitter is at Kosher Talk Pod. Facebook is at Kosher Talk Pod. And Instagram is at Kosher Talk Pod. YouTube is Kosher Talk Podcast. That's 3 separate words, Kosher Talk Podcast, just so you guys know. Then you can email us, James at koshertalkpodcast.com, Bob at koshertalkpodcast.com, with any comments, questions, or concerns, or just go to koshertalkpodcast.com/contact and do so there. Also, support us by wearing our merch around the parks. That'd be awesome. koshertalkpodcast.com/shop if you have any interest in representing us and you feel strongly in doing so. We would appreciate it. We might have some new merch soon with the chances. Take a chance on chance. So keep your eye out for that. And then also you can go to koshertalkpodcast.com and you'll find the option to subscribe to our monthly update newsletter where we will just tell you about trips that we might be taking that we might not have mentioned on the show, or sometimes we talk about the new episodes for that month if you haven't listened to some of them. So that's just an option. If you want to do so, you can opt into that, and we'd appreciate any feedback. Again, koshertalkpodcast.com/contact. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. It was a fun one. It was a unique one, to say the least. And we'll see you guys on next week's show. Next week's show, actually, I do want to quickly plug in, will be a Q&A in the second half of the show. So keep your questions and write us when that comes up on our social media, because we'd love to hear any questions you guys have. We haven't never done a Q&A on here, so that'll be fun. We'll see you guys all next week's show, though.
All right.
Man, that was an episode.
It is really, it feels really cold in my room, but it's not.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what. Uh-oh.
What?
What are you saying uh-oh for?
Because you're cold, but it's not cold.
Yeah. No, I think it's just wind. It's like drafty or something, but it's weird that I've not
felt
felt
like an illness of some sort, maybe.
Yeah, actually, that's how I felt with COVID.
Yeah, or the flu, maybe too. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end the stream. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys.
Head out. It's a little late, so we'll see you guys next week.